There's a moment, just one small moment, when a woman who's been playing hard to get suddenly changes the game. She starts texting you first. She starts asking where you are. She begins acting differently, chasing you instead of the other way around. What triggers that shift? It's not money. It's not looks. It's not even your charm. It's a move so unexpected, so psychologically disarming, that most men will never do it, because they've been wired to believe it's the wrong move. But when you do it correctly, it flips a switch in her mind. She starts craving your attention, your validation, even your presence. Because here's what no one tells you. Attraction is not about proving your worth. It's about creating a vacuum, an emotional space she needs to fill. Neil Strauss talks about this dynamic in The Game, especially when he observed how mystery would purposely disappear at moments of high emotional tension, leaving the woman to chase the emotional resolution. It's counterintuitive, but it works. And if you understand the psychological mechanism behind it, you can make it work on any woman, whether she's a 7, 9, or straight up 10. Here's the truth. Most guys think being liked by a woman is about being nice. They think it's about availability, attention, and compliments. And while that might get you a smile and maybe a friendly hug, it won't make her chase you. Because women don't chase what's available, they chase what's valuable. And value is defined not by how much you give, but by what you withhold. So, what's this unexpected move? It's this. You stop reacting. Let that sink in. You stop reacting. You stop validating every little thing she says. You stop replying instantly. You stop being emotionally available on her terms. You remove the mirror that she's using to feel important. And when she can't see herself in your eyes anymore, something strange happens. She starts questioning, wait, did I lose his interest? Why isn't he trying anymore? Did I mess up? That uncertainty is powerful. It plants a seed of desire. Not because you're playing games, but because you're signaling strength. You're not chasing validation. You're not emotionally needy. That triggers what psychologists call a dopaminergic spike. The brain starts craving the thing it feels it's losing, especially when that thing was once easily accessible. Let me give you a real-world example. A coaching client of mine, we'll call him Marcos, was obsessed with this woman from work. Gorgeous, charismatic, smart. Every guy wanted her. He did everything right. On paper. He brought her coffee, laughed at her jokes, complimented her shoes, took her to dinner. But she always kept him in the friend zone. So I told him to do something that made him nervous as hell. I said, pull away, stop texting her first, show up with confidence, talk less, smile less, and stop filling the silence. At first, he thought I was crazy, but after a few days of silence, she messaged him, hey, haven't seen you around much. Everything okay? That one message turned into 2, then 3, then a lunch invite. What changed? He flipped the power dynamic. Women don't chase men because they should. They chase because they have to, because something inside them feels unfinished. And when you stop reacting, you create that space. Now, this doesn't mean becoming cold, rude, or distant. That's just being insecure with a mask on. What I'm talking about is silent strength, presence without performance, masculinity without approval seeking. That's what turns the tables. And what most guys don't realize is, this works even after she's pulled away, even if she ghosted you, even if you messed up. The moment you remove your emotional reaction to her behavior is the moment she starts noticing herself more than you. She wonders why she suddenly misses your attention, why it bothers her that you're not responding like before, why the guy who once made her feel adored is now a mystery again. This taps into what Robert Greene explains in The Art of Seduction. Absence increases respect and desire. When you're constantly available, you lose your edge. When you pull away, you become a puzzle, and people are addicted to solving puzzles. Now, you might be wondering, but what if she just forgets about me? Good. That means she wasn't emotionally invested to begin with. Because the women who do care, the ones who were feeding off your attention, they won't just let go. They'll start to reach. They'll begin chasing, just to restore the emotional certainty they once had around you. And that's exactly what you want. You don't want attraction based on effort. You want attraction based on impact. When your presence creates an emotional void and she feels restless without it, that's when she chases. That's when she can't stop thinking about you. That's when she starts watching your stories, liking old photos, asking mutual friends about you. She'll rationalize it however she wants. Maybe she just misses your energy or feels like you've changed. But what's really happening is this. You stopped playing her game, and now she wants back in. What makes this strategy so powerful is that it bypasses her logical mind and speaks directly to her emotional instincts, the part of her that's been trained since childhood to seek out what's scarce, what's rare, what feels like a challenge. Let's be honest, women aren't used to being ignored, especially attractive women. They're surrounded by men who validate them without even realizing it, through comments, through likes, through soft laughter, through subtle body language. Even when you think you're being subtle, she knows. So when a man comes along who doesn't immediately bite the bait, who doesn't rush to fill in awkward silences or compliment every detail, she doesn't get offended. She gets curious. She starts watching him more closely, testing, probing, trying to figure out what makes him different. Because here's something you need to remember. Women aren't chasing you. They're chasing how they feel around you. And when your energy shifts from seeking to centered, the entire dynamic changes. You're no longer reacting to her world. You're inviting her into yours. That's why this unexpected move, your silence, your detachment, your calm refusal to overextend, isn't passive. It's active dominance. It's a message. I choose where I invest my energy. Not every woman gets access to me. That subtle arrogance, that quiet self-respect, it sends a signal louder than any compliment could ever scream. Now let's go deeper. Why does this move confuse her? Because it disrupts her internal script. Most women, even the independent ones, are used to men falling into predictable roles. The pleaser, the clown, the overtexter, the too available too soon guy. They expect validation. They anticipate your eagerness. But when they meet a man who knows his worth so deeply that he doesn't need to broadcast it, they're thrown off balance. It's like a glitch in the matrix. She doesn't know whether you like her or whether you're just being polite. And that ambiguity, if you hold it with strength, creates psychological pull. She leans in. She watches your reactions more closely. She tries to get a rise out of you, any sign that she still has that power. And when she doesn't get it, when you remain composed, unaffected, grounded, that's when the chase begins. But don't misunderstand. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about revealing the part of you that most men bury under desperation. It's the part of you that doesn't need her, but would enjoy her if she proves herself worthy of your time. Think about it like this. I walk into a luxury store. There are no discounts, no sales, no one following you around asking if you need help. Why? Because the value is self-evident. The price is the price. And if you can't afford it, well, that's not the store's problem. Women are biologically attuned to that same psychology. If you're constantly lowering your price, your standards, your time, your attention, you stop being a luxury. You become a convenience. But when you stand firm, when you signal, I'm not chasing, but I could choose you, that's when you become irresistible. Because here's another truth. Seduction isn't about addition. It's about subtraction. Remove the excess words. Remove the over-explaining. Remove the eagerness, and what's left? Presence, power, polarity. When a woman feels that contrast between your stillness and her inner chaos, it draws her in. Not because you're manipulating her, but because you're anchoring her. You become the stable point in her emotional storm. The grounded masculine energy that she didn't know she craved. And it doesn't take grand gestures. It takes restraint. Holding eye contact a second longer than expected. Letting her fill the silence without rushing to rescue it. Smiling slowly, like you know something she doesn't. These are micro moves that shift everything. You're no longer a man trying to win her. You're a man she's trying to read. And the more unreadable you are, in a calm, self-contained way, the more interesting you become. Remember, women get attention daily. What they rarely get is mystery. And mystery is the gateway to obsession. Most men try to impress women by adding more messages, more emojis, more compliments, more stories about their success, more attempts to stand out. But what they don't realize is, more is exhausting. It's noise. And women live in a world full of noise. The man who stands out is the one who subtracts, the one who creates silence, not with awkwardness, but with certainty. When you're with a woman and you're not trying to win her, you instantly separate yourself from 95% of men. You become refreshing. She doesn't feel overwhelmed by you. She feels pulled in your direction because you're not trying to sell her anything. You're simply being, while most guys are busy performing. And here's where things get really interesting. There's a psychological phenomenon called the zygarnic effect. It basically says that humans remember unfinished experiences more than completed ones. This is exactly why when you pull away at the right moment, when you don't give her the closure or the certainty she's used to, she remembers you more than the guy who sent her flowers or wrote her poems. Because she doesn't know how the story ends, and the human brain hates an unfinished story. So what happens? She starts replaying your interactions in her head. She wonders if she missed something. She starts looking for signs. And every time she thinks about you, the emotional connection deepens. This is not game playing, it's emotional leverage. It's the same dynamic that movie directors use to keep you glued to the screen. Cliffhangers, tension, ambiguity. You become the plot twist she didn't expect. And this is exactly why the unexpected move works so well. Because it flips her inner narrative. You're not the guy chasing her. You're the guy she can't quite figure out. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean ghosting her. It doesn't mean punishing her with silence or playing hard to get just to mess with her mind. No. It means learning the art of timing your presence. You show up fully, authentically, but then you retreat just before she gets full emotional closure. Not cruelly, not arrogantly, just calmly, like a man who's not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't feel reciprocal. That energy is what women call sexy but grounded. It's dangerous in the best way. It makes her nervous in a good way, excited, aroused, curious. Because deep down, she feels your detachment as a kind of freedom. You're not trying to trap her. You're inviting her into your world and letting her choose. That's rare, that's masculine, that's unforgettable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a woman get obsessed with a guy who doesn't even treat her that well? You probably thought, why the hell is she chasing him? It's not because he's better looking. It's not because he's richer or funnier. It's because she can't read him. And her emotional brain interprets that uncertainty as intensity. It's the same reason people get addicted to gambling. Not knowing the outcome creates a dopamine cycle in the brain. So when you break the pattern she's used to, when you don't validate her like every other man, she starts chasing the dopamine hit that comes from your unpredictable presence. You become the slot machine, and every time she interacts with you, she's hoping to hit the jackpot. That's what keeps her coming back. Now here's where most men mess it up. They confuse mystery with coldness. They try to be distant, thinking it makes them powerful. But women don't chase emptiness. They chase depth with restraint. So when you do show up, when you speak, when you touch, when you look into her eyes, make sure it's real. Don't perform. Don't pretend. Give her a taste of something authentic, and then pull back. That rhythm, presence, and pause is what creates emotional magnetism. She's not just chasing your attention. She's chasing the feeling she gets around you. And that feeling is created by contrast, stillness and intensity, warmth and distance, masculine calm with emotional weight. When you embody that polarity, she feels something she can't explain. And what she can't explain, she can't forget. Here's something no one tells you. The more complex the woman, the more effective this move becomes. Because the women who are used to control, used to being the prize, used to bending men emotionally, are the ones who feel it the most when you don't play along. They'll test harder. They'll push further. They'll try to provoke you emotionally, just to see if you'll finally break and play the game like everyone else. And when you don't, when you remain still, calm, and unfazed, she doesn't just notice, she feels compelled. Because your refusal to dance to her rhythm signals something rare. You're not available. You're sovereign. And that's intoxicating. But let's get practical. How do you calibrate this move depending on the type of woman in front of you? Because yes, it's not one size fits all. For the high-energy, flirty, social butterfly, your silence becomes a mystery she has to solve. It slows her down emotionally and makes her rethink her value hierarchy. For the cold, guarded woman, your lack of reaction creates safety. It tells her you're not needy, you won't overwhelm her, and she can reveal herself on her terms. For the emotionally intense, highly expressive type, your grounded calm becomes an anchor. You become the man who doesn't ride the emotional roller coaster, who listens, who sees, but doesn't collapse under the weight of her moods. See the difference? This move isn't about withdrawal, it's about calibration. It's about knowing when to lean back, not out of fear or pride, but out of powerful choice. Now let's be honest, this isn't easy, because everything in you will want to respond, to explain, to clarify, to chase, to fix the silence. You'll feel the tension, the uncertainty, the pull of her energy trying to hook you back in. But if you break, if you reach out too soon, justify yourself, or try to control how she feels, you kill the very magnetism you were building. You've got to develop what the Taoists call wu wei, effortless action, the ability to do less while affecting more. You don't chase, you don't freeze, you simply allow her energy to come to you. You become the eye of the storm. And if she's truly feminine, emotionally alive, sensual, intuitive, she'll feel it. She might not be able to explain it. She might even resist it at first. But slowly, inevitably, her guard lowers. Not because you broke through it, but because you didn't try to. Let me give you an example from one of my inner circle students. He met this woman, beautiful, independent, classic alpha female energy, the kind of woman who always takes the lead. At first, she tried to dominate every interaction, pick the place, control the conversation, tease him to get reactions. But he didn't bite. He didn't try to win her over. He didn't react to her games. He didn't even try to impress her. He was just present, calm, grounded, amused. At one point, she literally said to him, "I don't know if you're even into me." He looked her dead in the eyes and said, "I don't make fast decisions." That one sentence rewired everything, because it flipped the script. Suddenly, she was being evaluated. She was being observed. She was the one who needed to show value. That's the switch. When you hold that frame, she starts to perform for you. Not because you're manipulating, but because your masculine presence has created emotional space. And in that space, she steps into her feminine, not by force, by invitation. Now, here's a nuance most men miss. This move only works if it comes from genuine confidence, not hidden insecurity. If you're pulling away because you're scared, bitter, or trying to punish her, she'll feel it. But if you pull away because you trust yourself, because you know that your time, energy, and attention are sacred, she'll respect it. Women are emotionally intuitive. They might not always speak the truth, but they feel the truth. So don't fake this. Become it. That means you've got to build a life that makes her pursuit worth it. A mission, a purpose, a direction that doesn't orbit around her. Because when your world is rich, when you're not waiting on her text or craving her approval, that's when she starts chasing. Not just your body, not just your time, but your presence. And presence is the most addictive thing a man can offer. Most men are stuck in the loop of proving, pleasing, and performing. They chase, they overinvest, and then they wonder why she loses interest. But the man who knows when to pull back, not out of fear, but out of power, is the one who flips the entire dynamic. He becomes the storm she didn't see coming, because she expected another man chasing. But what she got was a man who made her chase herself in his reflection. And that is unforgettable. It doesn't matter if you're average looking. It doesn't matter if you're not rich. It doesn't matter if you've made mistakes with women in the past. What matters is that you learn to own your space, to move less, to speak less, but when you do act, to be undeniable. Let other men compete for attention. You create desire through silence, through energy, through mystery. You don't chase, you lead. And eventually, she'll feel it. She'll feel the tension, the magnetism. She'll feel something different around you, something that demands her curiosity, her investment, her surrender. Because in a world of noise, the man who moves with intention becomes the signal. And once she hears that signal, she can't unhear it. Now, listen. If this message hit you in the gut, if it made you rethink how you've been showing up as a man, If something inside you feels ready to stop playing small and start becoming the one she chases, then don't keep this to yourself. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're at in your journey. What part of this clicked for you the most? What mistake have you been making without realizing it? Hit the like button so this message reaches more men who need to wake up from the trap of chasing and step into their power. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because this channel isn't for boys chasing attention, it's for men becoming magnetic. And trust me, we're just getting started.